Okay, so welcome back to my video, Biology Form 5. Today we will learn new chapter, chapter 6, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. In Mark 12 verse 30, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. Okay, so today we will learn about the structure of a flower. Okay, structure of a flower. The beauty and scent of flowers which have evolved not only attract animals and insects, but also play a role in ensuring the survival of species. So the flower contains the plant reproductive structures. Okay, so flowers contain both male and female reproductive organs. Okay, both male and female reproductive organs. Flowers also have structures called peduncles, sepals, and petals. Okay. In this figure, this is a longitudinal sections of a flower. This is peduncle, and then this is what we call sepal. Okay, and this one is the petal. Okay, and then you contain both female and male reproductive organ. For female reproductive organ, we call carpel, and also for male reproductive organ we call stamen. Okay, stamen consists of anther, this one anther, and the filament. This is the filament. Okay, and for the carpel we have stigma here. This one is style. Okay, and then ovary. This is ovary, and inside the ovary we have ovule. Okay, so this is the structures. Okay, structures in flowers. So comparison between male and female structures in a flower. Okay, plants such as lilies are bisexual flowers, where both male and female reproductive organs are within the same flower. So bisexual flower di sini bermaksud dia contain both male and female reproductive organs in the same flower. So this organism we call hermaphrodites. Okay, hermaphrodites. So these are lily. This is the male reproductive organ, and here the female reproductive organ. So what is the difference between the male and female structure in a flower? Okay, so here this is style, this is the stigma, this is the anther, and also the filament. Okay, we want to compare male and female flower parts. Similarities: both produce gametes, and both are located at the flower's organ. Okay, both are located at the flower. Okay, so differences for male flower and female flower. Male flower consists of stamen, female flower dia consists of carpel. This is the reproductive lah kan, reproductive organs of the for male and female. Okay, for male flower part dia ada filament and anther. For female has stigma, style, and ovary. Male produce pollen grains, female produce embryo sac. Okay, male projecting out from the base of the ovary. Okay, from the base of the ovary, and female located in the middle part of the flower. So developments of pollen grains and embryo sac. Pollen grains ini untuk male lah, embryo sac ini untuk female. The formations of pollen grain first. Formations of pollen grain. So the part of a flower that produces pollen grain is anther. So this is anther. Anther is the part of flower that will produce pollen grain. So how pollen grain produce? Okay, so this is the filament. During the developments of anther, a group of tissues grows inside each lobe to form 4 pollen sac. Ini for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kita ada 4 pollen sacs di situ. Okay, each pollen sac there are hundreds of pollen mother cells that we call as microspore mother cells, which are diploid. So inside here, they contain hundreds of microspore mother cell. If this is the pollen sac, so they contain microspore mother cell. Okay, to that the microspore mother cells divide by meiosis. If we take one microspore mother cell, it will undergo meiosis to produce 4 haploid microspore cell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they undergo meiosis, produce these 4 microspore cells, which are haploid N. Okay, so these 4 microspore cells now we called as tetrad. Okay, tetrad. Each cell in the tetrad will develop into pollen grain. Okay, each cell in this tetrad will develop into pollen grain. Now, the nucleus in the pollen grain will divide by mitosis. Okay, here by mitosis and produce 2 nuclei. Okay, generative nucleus and tube nucleus. So this is tube nucleus, this is generative nucleus. Okay, the wall of the pollen sac, which is thick and waterproof, breaks when the pollen grain matures. The pollen grains are released. Maksudnya apabila pollen grain sudah matures, so pollen sac yang ini tadi, this is the pollen sac, pollen sac, dia akan break to release the pollen grain. Okay, so itu adalah cara bagaimana the pollen grains is developed lah. Okay, so there are some plants of the gymnosperm phylum. Okay, for example pines, dia tiada bunga. Okay, do not have flowers. So bagaimana kalau tiada bunga, bagaimana dia menghasilkan pollen grain? Okay, these plants produce pollens through structures called cones. Okay, yeah, cones. This one is cone, this one is cone. Okay, so there are 2 types of cones, yaitu pollen cone, this one pollen cone, which is the male reproductive part, and the seed cone, which is the female reproductive part. So seed cone di sini adalah female reproductive part, manakala pollen cone ini adalah untuk male reproductive part lah. Okay, the seed cone is larger than the pollen cone. The pollen cone has scale-like structures that will produce pollen grains. Okay, so both pollen cones and seed cones are produced on the same tree. So here, this is pine tree. Okay, pine tree. In the same pine tree, dia produce seed cone dengan pollen cone. Okay, how about the formations of embryo sac in an ovule? Okay, formations of embryo sac in an ovule. Ovules are structures of a flower formed inside the carpel. Remember, carpel itu adalah the reproductive organ, female reproductive organ. Ovules develop from a layer of tissue inside the ovary. So this is ovule. This is ovary. Inside the ovary. Ovule is inside the ovary. A single ovary may contain one or more ovules. The ovule attached to the ovary wall through a stalk called funicle. Okay, so dia ovule itu attach kepada ovary melalui funicle di sini. This is funicle. Okay. The area of attachments of the funicle to the ovary is called the placenta. Okay, so this is placenta. Area of attachments of the funicle and to the ovary. The placenta will supply nutrients to the ovule. Okay, macam placenta dalam human juga kan, dia akan supply nutrient. So nutrient itu akan supplied melalui ini funicle. A mass of tissues inside the ovary develop forming a lump called nucellus. This is nucellus. This one is nucellus. The nucellus consists of parenchyma tissues. The nucellus tissue develop into two layers called integument. This one is integument. This one is integument. At the end of the integument, there is a little opening, what we call micropyle. Okay, here little opening, micropyle. Okay, micropyle will allow the entry of air and water into the seed during germination. Okay, so one of the nucellus cell is the megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell, also known as embryo sac mother cell. This one, embryo sac mother cell. Okay, embryo sac mother cell. So the megaspore, the first step, the megaspore mother cell, okay, diploid, they divide by meiosis to produce 4 haploid megaspore cell. Okay, megaspore, this one, divide by meiosis to produce 4. Okay, 4 megaspore cells, haploid. 3 of the megaspore cell will degenerate. This one, 3 degenerate, and only 1 megaspore dia develop. Okay. Again, step number 3. The nucleus of the cell that has developed tadi divides mitotically. Mitotically maksudnya secara mitosis 3 times. Okay, maksudnya dia undergo mitosis 3 kali, producing a cell with 8 nuclei. Maksudnya 2 kuasa 3 sama dengan 8. Betul kan? Maksudnya dia undergo mitosis 3 kali. So bila mitosis 3 kali, dia produce 3 nukleus. 3 pula. Sorry, 8 nukleus. Okay, sorry, 8 nukleus. Okay, so kita tengok di sini ada 8 nukleus. Okay, and then daripada 8 nukleus tadi, 3 nuclei dia move to one end of the embryo sac to form 3 antipodal cell. This one is 3 antipodal cell. Daripada 8 itu, 3 adalah antipodal cells. Okay, another 3 nuclei move to the opposite end of the embryo sac and forming 2 synergid cell and 1 egg cell. Di sini. Sini synergid cell 2. Egg cell 1. Egg cell 1. 1. And the 2 nuclei in the center, at the center here, will form the polar nuclei. Okay? So itu adalah bagaimana terjadinya embryo sac. The developments of embryo sac in plant, flowering plant. Okay? So that's all for today. Next video we will learn about fertilization. Okay, today we only learn the structure inside the flower, flower, and also formations of embryo sac and also the pollen grain. Okay, next video we will learn about fertilization. Okay, Mark 12 verse 30, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. Thank you.